Hey guys, so as I mentioned in my update video, with December coming up, I was going to start talking about a lot of my Christmas movies, convincing you guys to watch them, just reviewing them, discussing them, why I love them so much. But before we get to Christmas, we obviously have to go to Thanksgiving. So today I wanted to discuss one of the best Thanksgiving movies and actually one of my all-time favorites. And that movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, directed by the legend John Hughes. Basically, it's a comedy from the 80s starring the great Steve Martin and the always lovable John Candy, rest in peace, as basically two guys trying to get home for Thanksgiving. The way the story goes is that Steve Martin plays an advertising executive in New York, who almost misses his flight. He's trying to get home to Chicago for Thanksgiving to see his family, where he ends up rerouted in Wichita, where he meets the shower ring salesman, Del Griffith, and they basically try to work together to get home. And it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I love it so much. I wish I could remember the first time how I came across it, because I really don't. But luckily, last year I had the chance of seeing it in theaters, and it was even better than before. And it's just there's so many great things about it. Steve Martin and John Candy have excellent chemistry together. Steve Martin's like the kind of curmudgeon, angry guy, and then um, John Candy's just like the obnoxious, weird guy who just would do anything for anybody. Doesn't really care what other people think. He's got that. He's just really giddy and silly. Basically what he did best, and this movie probably, along with Uncle Buck, shows that. And there's just I love it so much. I watched it again probably for the 20th time last night, and I really recommend everybody watch it. It's one of the best holiday movies of all time. Definitely one of John Hughes' best as well. There are just so many great scenes to have. There's obviously the iconic "Those Aren't Pillows" scene, which I can't really explain if there are kids watching here. But if you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's the redneck guy talking about his baby, the baby coming out sideways, them ruining the hotel, the motel, getting having to get the room together, getting robbed, the whole driving scene with them on the wrong side of the road. There's actually a really scary part too with them almost getting hit by two trucks and the whole skeletons, which will always seem to be a thing of the 80s, as well as it was done in Pee-wee's Big Adventure as well. And that scene's so great. The whole like station wagon, kind of like from Vacation, driving that home. Obviously, trying to get home through planes, trains, and of course automobiles. There's the iconic scene of them getting pulled over after accidentally setting the car on fire. Basically, everything in the car is broken except the radio. The whole roof is missing, and it's basically just that's what it looks like right there, and it's hilarious. Luckily, that's towards the end, but there's the most iconic, probably the best use of the F word I've ever seen in a movie, with by Steve Martin and of course the lady who played the receptionist in Ferris Bueller, and that scene just gets me every time. I'd actually consider this a family movie, except for that one scene, mainly because I that's how it got the R rating, since you can only use the F word in a PG-13 movie once. But other than that, there's a lot of jokes in here that kids probably won't understand until they get older. But I just think it's the perfect family movie, simply because it's just really sweet. The kids will laugh at it, and then when they get older, they'll love it even more. They'll be able to appreciate it. Um, and that whole scene is just great. And the best thing about it, really, is the ending. Now, it actually has probably one of the most heartbreaking slash heartwarming endings of all time, which I'm not going to get into, simply to avoid spoilers for those who haven't seen it before. But it's really just it's kind of a wake up call, of him being with Dell the whole time, and then realizing like one giant thing, and just it's really sweet, and it makes me cry every time I watch it. I'm not gonna lie, even last night, and it's probably my second favorite ending of all time, after another one, but I'll get to that later as well. So check it out, you guys. It's the perfect Thanksgiving movie. It's just a great comedy to begin with. If you're ever trying to go through John Candy's movies, I definitely recommend this one. It really is just one of the funniest movies out there, and it's road trip movies are my favorite subgenre, so I have a little bias towards it, but And like I said, I wish I could remember how I came across it. But if you watch it for the first time, you know where you came across it. So please let me know if I can convince any of you to watch it. Get the family together on Thanksgiving Eve, watch it, sit down, laugh, love it. Hopefully you guys will, and take care. More favorites to come.